Adiparva, the beginning of an epic. The Adiparva is where it all begins, the birth of heroes, the seeds of rivalry, the unfolding of fate. It is a tale filled with grandeur, pain, love, betrayal, and divine intervention. It sets the stage for the greatest war ever fought, the Kurukshetra War. Ub 1. The Invocation, the Divine Blessing. The Mahabharata begins with a beautiful invocation, where the sage Vyasa blesses the story. He calls upon Lord Ganesha to be his scribe, ensuring that the epic flows without interruption. There is a deep sense of reverence in these words, as if the universe itself is preparing to unfold the grand saga of Dharma, righteousness, and Adharma, unrighteousness. Number 2. The story begins, the curse that changed everything. Long before the Pandavas and Kauravas were even born, fate had already begun weaving its intricate web. King Shantanu of the Kuru dynasty falls madly in love with Ganga, a celestial river goddess in human form, but she agrees to marry him only on one condition: he must never question her actions. The love-struck king agrees, only to watch in helpless agony as she drowns their first 7 sons in the river. Each time his heart breaks, yet he remains silent. But when she tries to drown their 8th child, he can no longer bear it. "Why?" he cries out, shattering the silence of his promise. Ganga, now sorrowful, reveals the truth. These children were celestial beings cursed to be born as mortals. By drowning them, she was merely freeing them from their curse. But since Shantanu broke his vow, she must now leave him, taking the child, Devavrata, later known as Bhishma, with her. 3. Bhishma's vow, the ultimate sacrifice. Years pass, and Devavrata grows into a warrior unmatched in skill and wisdom. When Ganga finally returns him to his father, Shantanu is filled with joy. However, destiny strikes again when the king falls for another woman, Satyavati, the daughter of a fisherman. Her father lays down a cruel condition: her children must inherit the throne, not Devavrata. For the sake of his father's happiness, Devavrata takes a terrible vow. He renounces his right to the throne and swears lifelong celibacy. The heavens tremble at his resolve, and the gods shower blessings upon him, granting him the boon of Icha Mrityu, the ability to choose his own time of death. This act of sacrifice earns him the name Bhishma, the terrible one, the unshakable warrior. But deep within, he carries the weight of this burden, the silent sorrow of a man who gave up everything for duty. 4. The birth of Kuru princes, a lineage cursed by fate. With Bhishma unable to marry, the Kuru dynasty faces a crisis. To solve this, he arranges the marriage of Satyavati's son, Vichitravirya. However, tragedy strikes. Vichitravirya dies without leaving an heir. A desperate Satyavati calls upon her secret son, the sage Vyasa, to father children with Vichitravirya's widows through the ancient custom of niyoga. Thus, 3 sons are born: Dhritarashtra, born blind; Pandu, born weak and pale; Vidura, a wise son born to a maid destined to be the king's advisor. This moment is filled with unspoken pain. Dhritarashtra, though the eldest, cannot be king because of his blindness. Pandu takes the throne, but destiny has other plans for him. The 5. The Pandavas and Kauravas, seeds of rivalry. Pandu marries Kunti and Madri, while Dhritarashtra marries Gandhari. But misfortune follows them like a shadow. Pandu is cursed that if he ever engages in physical intimacy, he will die. Heartbroken, he renounces his kingdom and leaves for the forest. Kunti, however, possesses a divine boon. She can call upon any god to grant her children. With this, she gives birth to Yudhishthira, born of Dharma, the god of justice; Bhima, born of Vayu, the wind god; Arjuna, born of Indra, the king of gods. Madri, too, uses the boon and gives birth to the twins, Nakula and Sahadev, born of the Ashwini twins, celestial physicians. Meanwhile, in the palace, Gandhari gives birth to a lump of flesh, a terrifying omen. But through divine intervention, it is split into 100 pieces, giving rise to the 100 Kauravas, led by the ambitious and cruel Duryodhana. From the very beginning, Duryodhana's heart burns with envy against the Pandavas. The seeds of hatred are sown early, and fate moves toward an inevitable war. 6. The first betrayal, Pandu's death and Kunti's return. In the forest, Pandu's curse tragically comes true. In a moment of passion, he embraces Madri only to die instantly. Overcome with guilt, Madri chooses to end her life on his funeral pyre, leaving Kunti to raise the 5 children alone. She returns to Hastinapura, where the young Pandavas and Kauravas grow up together, but their childhood is filled with rivalry. Bhima's immense strength intimidates Duryodhana, who begins plotting his downfall. Number 7. Drona's training. The rise of Arjuna. The Kuru princes are sent to train under the legendary guru, Dronacharya, whose loyalty lies with Hastinapura. Among all his students, one shines the brightest, Arjuna. With his unmatched discipline and unwavering focus, he soon becomes Drona's favourite. However, Duryodhana seethes with jealousy. His hatred for the Pandavas grows, leading him to commit a heinous act. He conspires to kill Bhima. Poisoning his food, he has Bhima thrown into a river, believing him to be dead. But fate has other plans. The Nagas, serpent beings, save Bhima and bless him with immense strength, making him even more formidable. 8. Ekalavya's sacrifice, the unjust test of caste. In the forests, a tribal prince named Ekalavya secretly trains by worshipping an idol of Dronacharya. His dedication is so intense that he becomes an archer even greater than Arjuna. When Drona discovers this, he is faced with a dilemma. His loyalty to the throne demands that no one surpass Arjuna. What follows is a heartbreaking moment. Drona demands Guru Dakshina teacher's offering, asking Ekalavya to cut off his own thumb. Without hesitation, the devoted student obeys, sacrificing his destiny as an archer. This moment is a stark reminder of the brutal realities of power, favoritism, and social hierarchy. 9. The Kauravas' conspiracy. The burning of Lakshagriha, Duryodhana's hatred, reaches new heights. With his cunning uncle Shakuni, he devises a sinister plan. The construction of Lakshagriha, a palace made of lacquer, a highly flammable material. Under the guise of hospitality, the Pandavas are invited to stay there, but the real intent is murder. He plans to burn them alive. However, the wise Vidura, loyal to Dharma, secretly warns the Pandavas. They escape through an underground tunnel just before the palace is set ablaze. The world believes them dead, but they use this opportunity to disappear, living in disguise. 10. Draupadi Swayamvara, a marriage that changes destiny. While in hiding, the Pandavas reach the kingdom of Panchala, where a grand Swayamvara is taking place. The beautiful and fierce Draupadi is to choose her husband. The challenge? Only a warrior capable of stringing a massive bow and striking a rapidly moving target will win her hand. One by one, the greatest warriors fail. Karna, a warrior equal to Arjuna, is stopped from participating due to his unknown caste. Then a humble Brahmin steps forward, none other than Arjuna in disguise. With effortless grace, he completes the challenge, winning Draupadi. But fate takes an unexpected turn. When they return home, Kunti, unaware of what they've brought, unknowingly tells them to share whatever they have received. Bound by their mother's words, Draupadi becomes the wife of all 5 Pandavas, a union that will shape the future of the epic. With this, the Adiparva concludes, but this is only the beginning of the Mahabharata. Love, betrayal, war, and destiny await. The wheels of fate have begun to turn, and there is no stopping what is to come. If you want to continue this epic journey with me, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Let's uncover the untold secrets of the Mahabharata together.